quite a bit tough fight with the people who were reviewing the abstracts. What we came across that there was too many Chinese molecules which were there, and we never used to discuss about them. So we took a conscious effort that we would include them as many as possible. And we thought that, okay, this time we would have a separate small session in which we would run through what Chinese molecules have come. And after that, Amol will talk about the low dose data which has been there in last 1 year. We thought that that actually might be more practice changing to this audience than whatever we discussed over last 2.5 days. So this is the Chinese contribution till 2021. And if you see the PD-1 inhibitors, camrelizumab, sintilimab, tislelizumab, and PD-L1 sugimilumab, many of you have seen this molecules been discussed. And what is the interesting part is, none of these have like phase 1, phase 2. Each one of them has a phase 3 study and each high quality data, and they have got published at least Lancet Respiratory or JTO like journals. And we will go over each one of them. And I would first share with you the data of Empower Lung 1 study in which sepilimab monotherapy as first line treatment in patients with brain mets from advanced non-small cell cancer. This data was there, and you could see with respect to chemotherapy, whether it is overall survival or whether it's PFS, the numerical numbers are higher, and even the duration of response is higher, and these values are actually statistically significant. In fact, you would see that the hazard ratio for overall survival in this situation was 0.17. Now, move on to the next study. The study is called CAMEL, and in this study, we are looking at a drug called camrelizumab plus carboplatin with pemetrexed versus chemotherapy alone, and this was in non-squamous non-small cell lung cancers. And again, it's a replica of what we have been seeing with pembrolizumab or atezolizumab, where we would see that there is an improvement in PFS, and that improvement in PFS has also translated into an improvement in overall survival. So this was just a gist of ideas that there are multiple molecules which, unfortunately, I don't think we have any DCGI regulators here which don't access to have Indian molecules. In fact, I had this discussion, one of them, that they are going to get FDA approval. I'm actually praying in my mind that they don't get FDA approval. If they don't get FDA approval, they would be less cheaper. And if they come in Indian markets, it would be much easier. We have a molecule called tislelizumab plus chemotherapy. Again, this is a JAMA Oncology paper, very high quality journal, versus chemotherapy alone for the treatment of advanced squamous cell carcinoma. It was a 3-arm study in which tislelizumab was combined with paclitaxel carboplatin, tislelizumab combined with nab-paclitaxel carboplatin, and the arm C was chemotherapy alone. The overall survival data here was immature, and they have not given it in the paper. But if you look at the median progression-free survival, it was statistically significantly different between the arm A and B, which was both the paclitaxel versus the arm C. So another molecule which would have interesting results. Another data, we talked about tislelizumab in squamous, tislelizumab in non-squamous, the Rational 304 study. Again, this is a phase 3 study. The studies which I'm showing are only phase 3, no phase 2, phase 1 data. Again, which shows that addition of tislelizumab leads to a significant improvement in progression-free survival. Another data of a drug called sintilimab, and this time this is in metastatic squamous non-small cell lung cancer, Orient 12. The publication has come in JTO. And you could see that whether the way you look, whether at the interim analysis or in the updated analysis, actually is the updated analysis, for progression-free survival, there's a benefit with the use of this drug. You use overall survival curves, you could see there's a good separation amongst them. Though the numbers, if you compare these numbers with the Caucasian population, but Akhil also was alluding to, the number seems to be on the higher side, the response rate seems to be on the higher side. The overall survival at 2 years and 3 years seem to be on higher side. But actually that doesn't matter, because in both arms the ethnicity was same. It was not that one arm was Chinese and one arm was of some other ethnicity. Another data, this is Orient 11, this was sintilimab plus pemetrexed platinum in non-squamous non-small cell lung cancer. Again, you could see that there was an improvement in progression-free survival, there's an improvement in overall survival, and each of the subgroups, this does benefit. I think it's time for us, for medical oncology forums like CRSF, forums like ICON, that we have some letters written to DCGI that we need to have access to these molecules also, because I think what we are missing a trick here. We're not having these molecules, we are letting to have less competition in the market, and because there's a less competition market, the costs are actually on the higher side with these drugs. If there are so many players come in the market, I think the cost of the drugs will go down significantly. But what about low-dose pembrolizumab? And uh, Amol will be speaking after me in detail about this. And this is one of the paper which came from this actually came from Korea. And what they used was a dosing of 100 mg versus a dosing of 200 mg. Pretty large study if you see nearly 44 patients in one arm and 16 patients in another arm. And what you see is that the curves are actually hugging each other. And this goes along with the data that if you have weight less than 50, probably 100 mg would be fair enough a dose to give in this situation. With that, I would just conclude saying that I think we need to keep our eyes open for more data which is coming from China. We cannot just ignore that data. We need to keep our eyes open for data which is coming on low-dose nivolumab. I don't say that you offer it to every patient who can afford the full dose, but this definitely seems to be an option if the patient cannot afford anything. I think something is going to be better than nothing. With that, if there are any questions, I'll take.